Hello, everybody out there. This is Beauty for Ashes, and my name is Jennifer Lucy. And once again, we are on with the show that X-rays life, how everything can all of a sudden go wrong when it is right. But there is always the point where you need to make a correction and move back and take the reins, and you definitely can do that with our inspirational stories from our different with different people on this platform. Once again, welcome to Beauty for Ashes. Today, I'll be talking to somebody with another story that will blow your mind, and this story can only be said by him. So, I will introduce to you Prince Moses Ogbu, and he will be with us after the short break. Stay tuned. Hello, Prince Moses. Welcome to Beauty for Ashes. So, like I informed you even before we, got on air, I told you about the show, and you said you can come out and share your story to the world. Now, the whole world wants to hear your story. Tell us your story.
Hi, Jennifer. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Once more, my name is Prince Ogbu Moses. I am happy to be here in this show to tell the world about my story. 22 years ago, I enrolled into the Nigerian Navy as a rating. That was the year 2000, on the 14th of August, year 2000. In my journey in the Navy, 2009, 2010, I was serving in Nigerian Naval Basic Training School in One. So I'm this person that I'm this phone freak. Then I love phones a lot. So there's this place in Port Harcourt called Garrison. Garrison, they sell phones there. So I'm always going to Transbalance. They call it Transbalance. When you use a phone for a short time, you go, you add money, take a bigger version of the phone. So most of these guys, they never knew that I'm a naval rating because I'm into sports most times. I'm a sportsman too in the Navy. I put rings on my ears, and people don't really know that I'm an officer. So one of these days, I was coming from a parade from one of our base there in Pathfinder, NNS Pathfinder. I was coming down to One, so I branched Garrison to see one or two things. So most of these guys that are there, they never knew I was an officer before. So when they saw me, bros, we never knew you're an officer. We do see you come here. So that was how they collected my contact, that we can give you these phones you're coming to buy here for small money. So that was how I exchanged contact with them. I went back to One. They started calling me, bros, we have this version of BlackBerry, we have this. I started collecting phones from them. So by the time I have 3-4 phones in my hands, I sell to my classmates or my people around me there. So at a time, they called me that we can give you laptops and wristwatches. That was how they now started adding other things, iPads, to what they're giving me.
So, Prince Moses, would you say that it was at this point that those cracks started appearing in your life?
Yeah, it's at that point exactly. What I'm trying to say is that where you see the cell phones, I've gone to so many places, the cell phones in Nigeria, just like the computer village here, you see most touts are there. Where they sell genuine phones, you see people selling stolen phones too there. So as I started making friends with these people, bringing phones from me and other items stolen from people, that was how they now told me, officer, we can give you car. First I was nervous, I was shocked. Car? That's how you're officer now, police cannot stop you. They started talking to me, and I said, okay, I'm gamed. So that was how they brought the car for me. The first car was I think Toyota Tiny Lights. They call it Tiny Lights. They sold it for me for 150,000. I bought it after a few weeks. I sold it for 450,000. I saw that I made like 250,000 naira gain. It was cool, and I started dealing with them.
That those cars were being gotten from illegal sources, and When you found out, what was the source those cars came out from?
No, I knew that those cars were not legal cars. At the point I was dealing with them from phones to the laptops, when the car time came, I knew. But I was just scared because I've never done anything about car before. So it's like the business is growing, but you know, you have to be careful.
Okay, so they
In
told you they were getting stolen cars.
Yes.
And did they tell you the procedure they used to go through to steal these cars?
You know, some of those cars are stealing cars. You know, stealing and robbery are two different things. Some they steal with master keys, and some they rob at gunpoint. But I just buy from them, so I don't want to know the way and manner which the car is being taken. All
So
I
did
just
you never feel that maybe for those cars that were gotten, at gunpoint, did you never think that some people were hurt in the process of getting those cars forcibly?
At that time, I have to be very realistic. I don't care about the way they brought the car. I don't ask them the way they collect their cars. All I just need is when you bring the car, I make your payment. And at this point, I am open and very realistic to them, even when I'm dealing with this kind of people. I am a uniform man that I can use my uniform to even, scare them, collect their car, holding it without giving them money. But I pay them. Even when I don't have money, I'll tell them, give me 2-3 days. I'll send your money to your account. So they started introducing me to other people from Calabar because I was in Port Harcourt.
Okay.
I'll buy the cars from Port Harcourt, ship it down to my barracks in Calabar. From there, get people to move it to the north for me in Kano, where I do sell them. So at the time, even when I don't have money, I will tell them, just bring the cars. They trust me, and I will just pay the money for them.
All right, so Prince Moses, on with your story. From this point, you said you had gotten into the thick of it. So how long did this spate of activities last? And what happened when it came to an end, or how did it come to an end?
It was, I started within the year 2007, and in 2011, that was when it ended, because eventually, after my wedding, I was sent to the Special Peace Enforcement in Maiduguri for the peace enforcement, as they call it, Boko Haram, to go and fight the insurgents at Maiduguri. So at this time in Maiduguri, I couldn't have the time to talk to these guys any longer because they're in Port Harcourt, I'm in Maiduguri. And in Maiduguri, I couldn't do business with them any longer. I was in Maiduguri for a short time, 6 months. I came to Lagos for a course for my secondary Radar Plotter 2 course. When I came into Lagos, so I was in Navy Town with my friends, we were drinking, and somebody was talking that the sister needed a car. So I told him, I can get a car for you. What kind of brand? He said the discussion continued. I just went back of the shop. I placed a call to Port Harcourt. I need the discussion continue. I sat down. Before the next 45 minutes, they told me that, look, here's, we've gotten one. So the following day was a Friday. I took the evening flight because I was on course as a trainee. I took the evening flight to Port Harcourt. I got the vehicle. I told them 1.3 million then. I got the vehicle.
Million.
Yes, I got the vehicle for 300,000. I made payment, and so lucky for me, the vehicle was stolen with the original papers inside, so everything was with me. So I came back to Lagos with the car on the Saturday. On Sunday, on Monday was a public holiday. I think that was a Salah or Easter break. I can't really remember. So on a Tuesday, the SARS from Port Harcourt now traced the car. The car had tracker.
Oh.
So they tracked it down to Lagos in Navy Town. So the car was with the people that have sold them. They have sold the car already.
Too.
So they had to arrest the guy with the Navy police in collaboration with the SARS that came from Port Harcourt. So they were looking for me, which I had the information that something is wrong. But if I wanted to have escaped, I would have escaped. But I look as I'm a rating in the service. I have a house in Calabar in the Navy barracks. I have so many properties in the Navy. I bought this car with the original papers, even though I knew it was stolen. I have a kind of proof to fight them in the court of for the court martial. I was not scared because I know that if I run at that time, they would tag me that yes, he knows what he's doing, and that was why he escaped. So I did not run, and that was how they arrested me. I was on course in NNS Quara. Went there, we started the court martial, and the court martial lasted for some time, for some few weeks, and I was given 2 years imprisonment, which I ought for appeal, and I went for appeal. I was sent to prison. I was in prison before the 2 years finished. For the 2 years I came out from prison, and
so you spent 2 full years.
Yes, I spent 2 years in prison, in medium security prison.
Okay.
So at this time, I didn't learn because I have all the money. I was living very big in prison. I was okay in prison, and I didn't learn. I had to make new contacts from the prison.
All right, you'll tell us more about your out of prison experience and what happened after that when we come back from this break. Stay tuned. All right, we're back from that break, and we're still talking to Prince Moses Owu. He has been telling us his story here, and his story, it seems quite incredible, but this is a first-hand story, so all the credibility is 100%, and he's telling us how it happened and how it changed the course of his life. So back to Prince's story, where his experience landed him in prison, and he was trying to get out and see what life held in store from him. So back to Prince Moses and his story. You said while you were in prison, you started making new contacts, to launch yourself outside. So how did that all happen?
I knew I was jailed for just 2 years via court martial, and I need to start up a new life. My case was on the Court of Appeal already, which I knew that I have 90% of I had chances of winning the case against the Navy, and I was just trying to make new contacts, come out, become a civilian, start up a new life, and I want to come live big. So I made new contacts because all my life in the Navy I've served in Port Harcourt, Calabar, Warri, Abuja, but Lagos was just my first years in the Navy, so I don't even have contacts in Lagos. So I made new contacts from the prison. So when I came out, I started again. This time I went bigger. I don't buy the smaller cars, any cars that is not from the 2013 version, because this was 2012 then, so I was buying cars 2013, 2012 version, bigger cars.
So when you say you came back bigger, did you actually at this point involve yourself in the actual car snatching, or trying to get the vehicle?
No, what I'm trying to say is that look, I came out because what I was buying in Port Harcourt then, I buy small cars, end of discussion continue, Camry, low version cars. But this time I came out and I started buying Range Rover, Prado, Land Cruiser. I upgraded because I've made new contacts from Lagos, and the kind of cars, I'll tell them these are the kind of cars I need. So that is the kind of cars they're bringing for me. So I just lasted just 6 months outside. This time, I bought a car, a Land Cruiser Prado, which landed me into a big problem. DCP Abakari, then he was the SARS, OC SARS, then he arrested me, squad, and that was when I gave it all. The day I was arrested, it was on my birthday in 2014, on the 10th of October. I was arrested, and that was the day I said, no, God, if you save me out of this, I tell you that every day of my life I'll tell people my story, use my story to change people, and that's how it is.
Wow. So how long did you spend this time when you went back into prison? And were you transferred from minimum security to maximum security, or was it still on the same cadre you were on?
No, when I came out and, when I was arrested this time, it does not have anything to do with the Navy.
Okay.
I am free from the Navy because, I was just waiting for the Court of Appeal to give its verdict. the police, everybody involved. I think I don't know what happened, but I was one of the person that was arraigned in court, and I was sent this time. I had bail because I bought a stolen property, which I was arrested, which has they gave me bail. I went to prison, but I had nothing this time because I lost everything, my house, my cars, everything. I've lost everything. So in prison this time, I can't even call anybody in my family to even come. So I just needed small money to perfect my bill to leave the prison. This time was the maximum prison.
Wow.
So I was in prison for like 6 months before I was able to get my bill done. I came out. I started sharing my story in prisons, trying to talk to the inmates there, trying to correct them, trying to teach them that this is what I'm going out to do.
Well, that is really quite an experience. Now, tell us about your time in prison. What kind of people did you meet there, and how did it help, shape your line of thoughts that once you get out of this hellhole, you are definitely going to become a better person and help any soul or person who is deviating to, walk on the right path?
Well, this is a very interesting question. A Nigerian prison, I've never been to any other prison apart from the Nigerian prison. And what I think is that it's what I want. Because personally, when I was in the cell of SARS, I told God, if you save me out of this one, it's a personal thing I have with God. Everybody know what he wants. And God helped me out of it, and I decided to use my story. It's a covenant I have straight with God. I say, if you save me from this one, I'll use my story. I did not say another one, but this one. So in prison there, I met the good, the bad, the ugly, and I told them, look, if you're coming out from here, if you want to change, you change. You're not changing for anybody, you're changing for yourself. And in prison there, I started, for the 6 months I stayed the second time, I was telling them that this is what I am going out to do. And immediately I came out, I started doing it, because if you want to waste time, you will, it's not everybody that wants to tell the stories. We all have stories. Everybody have, some people would rather die with their story. But I look at it that this is the vow I have made. And the story, I feel, is a best-selling story. It can touch the lives of youth. It can change teenagers from, things. Even in the military today, sometimes I go for some kind of, lectures to talk to some of these people, because we have them. I have never robbed before.
Okay.
But I buy the stolen cars. I encourage them.
Yes.
Because if you don't buy, if she doesn't buy, nobody will even go and steal. Because if you steal, and nobody's buying, you will not steal.
True.
So we that we are buying, we are the one encouraging them. Because the money you give them money. Sometimes they will just call you, they need money, that they are trying to arrange a job. You've not seen what they're bringing, but you will give them money in advance. So probably they want to use this money to go and rent arms and ammunitions and other things which you don't know. But you are the one that you are empowering them.
Right.
So that is it.
Okay, Prince Moses, we will take another break. I'm sure your story is already blowing people's minds. And when we come back, you will tell us how the impact of this made you start, your organization towards bettering people's lives. Stay tuned. All right, welcome back from that break. I'm still with Prince Moses Obu, and his story is touching, interesting, and definitely worth the lesson time. All right, back to Prince Moses. So, Prince Moses, after that victory, God answering your prayers and getting you out of the mouth of the lion's den, proverbially speaking, how has it helped reshape you? And what are you doing to give back to society?
Yeah, thank you, Jennifer. I've been trying my best by His grace. I think since 2015, when I came out, things were not easy. I lost my house, I lost my money, I lost my family. I started from the scratch again, and God has been faithful. what you want is what, it's your dream. Nobody sees your dream for you. So say when he gives you a vision, he goes before you to make it wide. So, but if only you want it. So I started pursuing it, and Diamond Heart Foundation was something that it was a dream, and it came reality. And I started going for one interview to the other on radio and television programs, schools, try to, to talk to people, go to churches even for youth programs, trying to go to, to teach them using my story as a case study, going to the military base on lectures, trying to tell them my story. I'm one of you, but this is what has happened to me. At this time, I went on an open listing for the Armed Forces Radio. Even the Court of Appeal, which I was supposed to win against the Navy, I had to just let it go because I told them openly that, look, I am guilty. I know the benefits I would have gotten from the Navy, but I let everything go down the drain. I know how I came into the Navy. I know how I started. I know that I would definitely make it again. So that's why I decided to just give it up.
All right. So now your foundation, who do you deal with, and how do you get to fund it?
Yeah. The truth is that you see a country like Nigeria, as I told you earlier on out of camera, until you prove them before they approve you. We are trying our best. We don't beg people for anything. When people understand that, look, this person is doing this, and we want to help him, you understand, they will call you. But I and my wife, I don't beg anybody. There is somebody that we met in the Full Gospel Businessman in 2016, Dr. Fred Opaje. He's the MD of P1 Heaven Home.
Oh, P1.
P1
Yes.
Heaven Home. They've been doing wonderfully for Diamond Heart Foundation. I call him anytime, he's supporting. I call him in the morning, I call him in the evening, he's supporting. And I have Otumba. Otumba is in the US. He's doing well. I have Dixon. He's in Luton in London. He's really supporting me. So, but for me, I don't disturb people. I try to make my money to help people, and we're trying this time to see how to touch more lives and help more people, because so many people today are in crime not because they want to go into crime. It's just because of the society we are today, empowerment, but it is not an inheritance that you have to be in crime. So I've met so many youth, ask them, why are you doing crime? Because if you do crime, they must catch you. They must catch you. If they don't catch you, then the time has not come. But as far as you're in crime, one day you'll be caught. So that is what I always tell them.
All right. It's been awesome listening to your story, Prince Moses Obu. I can't thank you enough. And I hope that, with the lessons you picked up in the course of life, yes, you made a mistake, but you were able to pick up the pieces and fashion yourself to become a better person. I hope your story really has made another huge point of inspiration to people out there who are listening. And like I always say, no matter what you're going through or you must have gone through and you're trying to bottle it up, these stories we bring to you are from everyday people like you and I. So you're not alone in this journey. You can make it, and you can encourage yourself, especially with the grace of Jesus Christ. Thank you once again,
Thank
Prince
you.
Moses, and I do hope your foundation thrives and you thrive, and God's blessings will be with you always.
Amen, amen, and amen.
All right, don't forget that this show is a show that is used to encourage people to understand that you can always become a better person. You must have a story. Everybody has a story. We go through several phases in life that make us who we become ultimately at the end of the day. Every day brings a new story and a new experience, so you can always use it to learn to become a better person or to help somebody who is beside you to become a better person, because with that, it's like a chain. When you do it and pass it forward, we can all make the world a better place. Trust me, our little actions will culminate into something bigger. at the end of the day. I hope you enjoyed the show, and like all the episodes we've had, it'll always get better with the next one. And don't forget that Beautiful Ashes is from the stable of Divine Television, and you can get Divine Television on your Google Play Store. When you check on your Google app, you can download Divine Television app. That's D apostrophe VINE. That's Divine, and you can get quality programs for wholesome viewing, great contents. Trust me, it's not what you get from your regular media. This is wholesome content, good enough for the whole family, for uplifting you and enriching your life. And don't forget that we are all across social media. You can check us out across several social media platforms at Divine TV. That's D apostrophe VINE. So you can drop your comments, make inquiries, and everything. Check out what we have in our stables all across our social media platforms. And that's so much for reaching out to us. And also, you might want to reach us if you've got your own peculiar story or case. Trust me, we will do it with confidentiality. And if you want to tell it to the whole world, we're here to encourage you and to help you bring it out as best as you can. So drop your comments, make inquiries all across our social media platforms at Divine TV. That's D apostrophe VINE. Divine TV. Check us out on Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, every social media platform. All right, from me, Jennifer, it's been great being with you on today's episode. Divine TV is enriching souls through the gospel of Christ. Until I come your way again, stay safe. God bless you. Bye now.